What did you think when I said, you must have thought I was kidding, or
I thought you were insane.
I might have been. I don't know. What was the next, how did it go? Your memories are better
I
than
don't
mine on that.
You just did it. You went off on
I said,
the
what do I
Lower
do?
East Side and rented a
Yeah, but that was
something.
later. I said, what do I do? And you said, well, you go down to an art store and you buy some paints. So I went down to, on the west side, to an art store and I asked for some paints. He said, what kind of paints? I said, I don't know. I haven't any idea. What do you want to do? Et cetera, et cetera.
I want to paint.
I brought some material home, and this I do remember. You taking the material, getting 4 stretcher bars, and showing me how to stretch a canvas. Do you know today, and thousands of canvases later, whenever I go to stretch a painting, it goes right back to that moment of taking that clicker, whatever the hell it is, and putting in the stapler, and putting in the first staple and pulling out the material, and you should make a little line, make it taut, and here, opposite ends, and then you go this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and lo and behold, in 5 minutes or 10 minutes from nothing, there is a canvas, and you drop a dime or a quarter on it, and it had to bounce in order to have some tension, and that's what it should be. That was my first and one of my only lessons in art that I ever received. And I really do. Whenever I go, the other day when I went to stretch a canvas for, and it wasn't Claudia, whoever came over here and needed a canvas, and I stretched it up right back to that same moment, just a quick flash. It's a wonderful, wonderful kind of a feeling.
And then what?
Well, what was it, Avenue D? I found a place, 4-flight walk-up, way over on the east side, in the Hungarian section. It was overlooking a cemetery. A very small place, very little money, which was surely part of the prerequisite because that rent still hadn't been paid. And I brought my canvases over and my paints over. I hadn't the slightest idea what to do with any of them and whatnot. And I locked myself in the room. And that was our next, 3 or 4 months or so on, showing up at dawn every day, loaded with paint. You're giving me that little sideways look.
No comment. At least.
What was it like for you?
Hold on.
Hell.
Hold on. Go back to, and then what? And I just got to cover it.
All right.
Just ask, and then what? And then that continues.
And then what?
Hold on.
All right.
Gotta wait for action. Ready.
What?
And then what?
Well, I looked for a studio, and the prerequisite of the studio was something as cheap as could be, and I found something about $70 or $60, something like that. I don't know where I found the $60. It was on the fourth floor walk-up in the Hungarian section over on Avenue D. Hauled all the materials up there, and I started to paint. And I'd wander in at dawn each day, loaded with paint. I'd sleep in the house for 3 hours or something like that, and go back and paint some more. Then I started bringing some of the... Did you ever go over to the studio?
I was never invited.
No. Oh, come on.
I was never invited.
You mean formally or what?
Or what?
Well, it wasn't by intention or anything.
No.
I think you chose not to. I think you chose the better part of discretion and this and that and valor. Anyway, it was heroic. Not my part. I think your part was heroic.
I do too. Or idiotic, I'm not sure.
No. Well, I think you thought did you think I was going to go through with it and paint?
I thought you were out of your mind. I mean, I was out of a job. You were out of a job.
Well, my position then, and I knew it inside, it would be so easy. The pressures were mounting hugely. I mean, you were being as nice as you could be about the whole thing, but that wasn't very good either, because you literally were with Big Belly. The idea of owing now maybe 4 months rent, I don't know, something like that. And I was talking to these people and say, well, just hold on. I'm painting, and you're what? Are you going to make another film? And I wouldn't even say that to somebody else. No, in my own mind, I knew that if I ever made another film, I'd just never get into the painting. I mean, it was such an easy valve. We had people calling us up at that point, 3 or 4 different production houses that were overloaded, and that's how we were getting films. Because we could do it capably and easily, and just they take their cut off the top, and we have a guaranteed film for it and money.
So then you talked to Fritz Mooney, and yeah.
Well, I guess that was Fritz was what? Fritz was running. Was he running Figaro's at that point, or no? Fritz was in and out of Figaro's. We were quite friendly at that point. I was playing chess with him. Fritz was a painter.
And he lived around the corner on
Sullivan.
12th, no. He was on 12th between 5th and 6th.
Oh, I remember, in his basement. Bah humbug at Christmas time, in a basement apartment on 12th and 5th Avenue.
Yeah.
A big sign, bah humbug.
That was Fritz.
Lovely.
Anyway, he told you about the wonders of living in the south of Spain, where it's warm and it's beautiful and it's cheap and it's free and you'd love it and you could be a painter there.
And I believed him. He didn't tell me about Franco. He didn't tell me about a lot of things, but I remember those sessions. They were wonderful. Yeah, he was very excited, and he was actually, nothing that he said wasn't so.
Well, just...
It was the last...
Come on.
Redo.
Just like Hemingway and Fitzgerald, there was nothing that they said in their books that wasn't so, but they left out so much. Like no running water and the toilets and out in the hallway, and just tell me about it.
It was about 9 months I was in that studio. And then I had the guts to, you were the one who said, you better show some of your canvases, because we just need some money. We just need something, because we're going to get thrown out of this. How they carried us, now we're into 6 or 7 months behind on rent. How they were carrying us, I have no idea. I'm sure everybody believed I was going to go back and make film. And it was you who suggested the outdoor show. And I tried, and I spoke to all the people.
They wouldn't even let you in.
They wouldn't let me in. And I hung some paintings outside the venue of the open air show, which is a show with 500 artists or something or other. And I sold my first canvas.
That did it.
$75.
That did it.
I remember to this day.
It didn't help with the rent, but it was great for your ego.
But it went to my head. It went to my head because after that, on the way home one day, I passed Sullivan Street, and there was an empty little store. I mean, about this big, with a storefront just off Bleecker Street. And I checked in, and it was $40 a month or something like that. And I took it, and that was the first studio or gallery.